Christians who made a difference.
Today we are talking about a woman who was a pioneer for women in church ministry. Her name is Constance Mary Coltman, and she lived from 1889 to 1969 in Britain. Constance was born Constance Todd in Putney, London, the eldest of 4 children. She grew up in a Presbyterian family who attended the Putney Presbyterian Church. After attending St. Felix School, Southwold, as a boarder, she read history in Somerville College, Oxford. Constance felt called to be a minister in the church, but at that time the Presbyterian Church would not accept women into that role, so it seemed impossible for her to follow that path. But in 1909 the Congregational Council considered the question of ordaining women. The principal of the then Congregational College, Mansfield College at Oxford University, William Boothby Selby, was persuaded that her call was genuine, and in 1913 she was accepted as a student there. There she obtained her London Bachelor of Divinity degree. Constance's desire to become a minister in the church followed the Universities Test Act of 1871, which allowed nonconformists, Catholics and non-Christians to study at Oxford and Cambridge universities for the first time. Although entry was no longer restricted on religious grounds, restrictions on women were still firmly in force. So Mansfield College was radical in allowing Constance to study there. The Congregational Church, the Kingsway House in Mayfair, London, accepted her candidacy to be a minister of the Word, and she and Claude Coltman were ordained there by the Congregational Union of England and Wales in 1917. The following day, Constance and Claude married, and she became Constance Coltman. So Claude and Constance were pioneers together as an ordained married couple in ministry. This was at a time when women were typically expected to give up paid employment on their marriage. Their shared ministry came at a cost. She had to balance ministry, marriage and motherhood. Constance managed this partly because she and Claude operated a ministerial job share, living on one ministerial stipend, while she used her private monies to subsidise the household. They ministered in various churches and returned to Kingsway House as their last ministry position before retiring in 1949. Constance was not a campaigner, but she supported younger women who felt called to ministry in the church. She helped found the Fellowship of Women Ministers and the Society for the Ministry of Women. She also engaged with the major issues of the day. Whilst she was not an active suffragist, she supported the movement for women to be allowed to vote. She was also a pacifist all her life. She was a member of the Fellowship of Reconciliation and Vice President of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. She was also one of the founders of the Christian Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. Constance Coltman was a woman prepared to stand up for what she believed God was calling her to do. Her pioneering of women in church ministry and encouragement of others was immensely important for women in Christian ministry.
Christians who made